Okay, everything is recording now.
Okay, thank you. So before we begin with the actual program, I'm going to ask Pastor Skeeter Holmes to offer prayer, and then we will begin with the program.
Amen. Father, thank you right now in the name of Jesus for every community group, every community member that's represented on these lines today. Father, we thank you for a successful year last year, and we thank you for a successful kickoff this year. We cancel every assignment right now of any danger, any hurt, or any harm that may be before us in this year's kickoff. We thank you right now that this year that we can collaborate and we can work together as groups to get the job done, to help restore and help build our communities as a team. We also lift up Land Bank and the staff at Land Bank, Michael Freeman and the full Land Bank staff, oh God, while they're helping us to navigate through our neighborhoods, where we can help change our neighborhoods, help change our communities together. We thank you now for the success of this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Holmes. So we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Renetta Speed. I am the Community Relations Officer here at the here at the Land Bank. We have other staff on the Zoom call, and you will meet them in just a few minutes. If you have any issues with the technology, please give Lucille James a call. Her number, and I sent out an email. I don't know if you'll be able to manipulate the email and do the Zoom thing, but her number is 257-3088 extension 529. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the chat, or you can email me after the presentation today. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. And at this time, I'd like to present our Executive Director, Mr. Michael Freeman.
So good afternoon, everybody. I'm joining you remotely from New York, where I'm attending a conference for Mott Community College, where I also serve on the Board of Trustees. But I thought it was really important that I jump out of the sessions that I was going to and be here to welcome you and most importantly, to thank you for all the work that you do in the community. Many years ago, and I remember when the Land Bank started, the idea was about, let's contract out maintenance in the city, and community residents came to us and said, why are you paying these people to do it when we could do it better and in partnership with the Land Bank? And that made the most sense of any program I think that we ever initiated. And today this is, I think, one of our finest programs at the Land Bank, because it truly is a community partnership. Understanding that we can't do this alone. Government can't do anything alone without the people, without residents who are passionate about their neighborhoods, about blight elimination, about taking care of vacant lots, and making it our neighborhoods a safer, better place to live in. So I'm always amazed. I'm in awe of all the work that you all do. And it's not just mowing properties. You're the eyes and ears of the Land Bank. You're out there making sure that people aren't dumping on properties. You take ownership of the land in your neighborhoods, and you are empowered by that. And I think it is really one of the greatest programs that we have. And one that I try repeatedly to promote in the community of, hey, the Land Bank is more than just receiving property, and we do work diligently on trying to find solutions. And it is because of all of you that we actually can start making a dent in our community. We can't do everything. We'd love to be able to have every property in the city of Flint manicured like a golf course, but that would be millions and millions of dollars that just aren't there. These properties don't come with money. Or very few dollars, but because of our funders, be it the Mott Foundation, the Ruth Mott Foundation, Mishta, through their Hardest Hit Fund program and other funders, were able to support the Cleaning Green program and to ensure that we have some of the best care of our properties, which, you know, you guys do keep everything looking like a golf course and keeping it beautiful and nice. And I wish we could do this on every property we have in the city, but we're a bit a ways from that. I am excited to say, though, that this is going to be a really interesting year, or a few couple of years moving forward, where the land bank is now trying to push to try and deal with all of our unfunded demos in the city of Flint and Genesee County. And through partnership with the city of Flint, Genesee County, through our foundations, through federal funding sources, through the treasurer's office, we're hoping to amass that money so we can finally take a huge bite out of the crime, or out of the blight that we have in the community. And so I believe that when we have these demolition programs going on and we're taking down these dangerous and blighted properties, as well as the work that you're doing, we're going to see a better Flint. And that's what I think all of us are here for. And I just want to thank all of you. You are, you know, I've been a community volunteer for many years, and you are my people. When I clean alongside you, you know, it's the most democratic, beautiful thing in the community, where we're all together and we're working to try and make this a better place to live. Because blight, abandonment, foreclosure, it's everybody's problem, and it hits every neighborhood. So I thank you for your work and your participation, your dedication. You guys aren't just volunteers to me, you are ambassadors of the land bank. And I appreciate you being out there, being visible, and then talking to people and letting them know that we all value our neighborhoods and communities. And so I know we have quite a program. I don't want to take up too much time, but I really do want you to know that I give you my sincerest thanks for what you're doing and your support, and we're here for you. Our staff, you know, we have some of the best people on our land bank team who are working with this program, who want you all to succeed and do great work. So I just, again, want to thank you, and we're here for you, and you truly are our friends and partners. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Raynetta, and if I've forgotten anything, anyone from the land bank, please jump in. But again, thank you, and Godspeed and your work that you're doing in the community. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. What Michael didn't say is that he's a resident of the city of Flint. And he lives in Carriagetown, and we have a Clean and Green group from Carriagetown participating in our program. It has been for years. So
as soon as anecdotally, when that started in my neighborhood, Clean and Green, it's never looked better. And the dumping has stopped, and it's given us a common purpose and so I think Clean and Green, even just for my own neighborhood and where I live, because it's been a wonderful, wonderful program for us.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Enjoy your conference.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on with our program. So I think we're going to talk about last year's accomplishments. Is that correct, Melissa?
We moved up the announcements from our partners. Yeah.
Okay.
We
So
can do that right now.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a few partners with us this morning. So first, I'd like to introduce Mr. Arnold Brown, who is and I hope I'm getting your title right, City Services Manager. Is that correct, Arnold? Okay. So I'm going to turn the meeting over to you at this time, and if you would like to address the participants.
Yes, I would. First of all, I'd like to say to all of you guys just don't know what kind of service you provide for the city of Flint. I've been removed for a while when I used to work with a lot of community organizations as far as scheduling cleanups and sort of activities. But I've heard so many great things about you guys, it's ridiculous. So I'm charged with the task of trying to reorganize Blight, our Blight program here, restructure it, get us moving and be guys. Because you guys, like Mr. Freeman was saying, you guys are the eyes and ears, and we get things from you first before we even get them. And I don't want to be in this position telling people things that they want to hear. I just want to have a proactive plan and be able to go and do what I need to do. We all know what needs to be done, so there's no reason why we need to sit around and tell people what may not happen. So, like I said, I really appreciate you guys, and if there's anything I can do as far as streamlining the process, I'll do that. I really would like to see everyone be advocates for, calling in. The first point that I want to make as far as the Blight program is if you have a Blight issue, whether it be condemned structure, whether it be trash in a vacant lot, whether it be a dead animal or anything like that, just call the Blight office. I'm trying to funnel everything to the Blight office, and illegal dumping hotlines are available, and I do have numbers for people who want to call in and report Blight. I'm pretty sure you guys probably have this on your speed dials, but the number for reporting is 810-237-2090. And call, and we do organized neighborhood cleanups, and we can get assistance in any kind of way that you need for your cleanup efforts. So I'm also working on a neighborhood cleanup program right now, which we're gonna try to work with our current vendor and try to get some garbage trucks out there so the community groups can participate in trying to clean up the neighborhoods like we used to do in the olden days. So if anybody has any questions or whatever, you can give me a call and right now I don't have a city cell phone. I'll be probably getting one by the end of the week, and only certain people can have it, like Miss Speed can have it, because me and her go way back. So, but anyway, just want to say, you guys, is that Miss Beverett? Hey, girl. I was like, man, I'm sorry. That was an old friend of mine. So anyway, just let's stay positive, let's stay encouraged, and let's take back our city.
So Arnold, can you put the number to the Blight office in the chat for us, please?
I sure can.
Oh, I think I just did that. 237-2090.
Oh,
you
okay.
did. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Arnold. We appreciate it. Looking forward to working with you this season.
No problem. Thank you.
Next, we're going to have Angela Warren from the Genesee Conservation District. Angela, are you there?
Hello, I'm here, Raynetta. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thanks for inviting the Conservation District to your kickoff today. I am Angela Warren. I'm the administrator at Genesee Conservation District. Genesee Conservation District is a local unit of government. We were established in 1946, so we're getting kind of old, but we have a lot of energy. Our staff of natural resource experts are here to help you. Think soil, water, air, plants, animals, anything outside, natural resources. That's what we do. We're here to preserve, protect, and restore and enhance natural resources, even on vacant lots. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to one of our staff who's going to speak more about trees. John Cahoon. He is our forester arborist.
Hello. So as Angela said, my name is John Cahoon. I'm the forester arborist for the Conservation District. Some of you may know me from sort of other roles that I've played in the community, but kind of briefly, I just wanted to chat with you guys today about specifically the work that the Conservation District does regarding street trees. So as I'm sure most of you are aware, the city is responsible for all of the street trees in the city of Flint and their maintenance. So that's not something that falls on residents. That is something that the city the city is responsible for managing and taking care of. And so kind of first and foremost, I wanted to make everybody aware of kind of the process and how that works. So if you guys have a street tree, and the easiest way to determine if it's a street tree or not, if it's between the sidewalk and the street, or if it's out in the median, that's a street tree. If there is a concern with one, if there's, large dead branches, if you think that it's dead, if it's, hanging over something, if you guys have concerns about it or questions about it, the first thing to do would be to reach out to the city. Currently, that contact person is Heather Griffin, although I believe they've hired somebody on and they're going to be moving street trees over into the Blight department, I think it is. But I will put Heather's contact information into the chat once we're done here. But reach out to Heather. Heather will get that information to me, and then I will inspect it. And if there's work that needs to be done, we will get a contractor out to take care of it. So that's kind of the first thing. If you guys run into stuff like that, I know that you guys are kind of the first ones out there. That's going to be the best way to handle it. Beyond that, if there are trees on the other side of the sidewalk, on the private side, that needs work, also feel free to reach out and contact the conservation district. And, we will do our best to try to get out there and help you guys out with those things. So Angela has already put Heather's information into the chat box. Angela, if you could put my email and contact information up there as well. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to me. The other thing that I wanted to sort of touch base on very quickly, Renetta, if I may, have just another minute or two. If you guys run into limbs or things like that that are on trees that are low, that are causing problems, whatever, and you guys are going to go out there and try to do that pruning work, I don't know if that's something that you guys do or not. There is a very short little graphic that I was going to put up to kind of explain the best way to go about doing that in a useful way that can kind of help stuff. So Renetta, can I share my screen for a minute?
Melissa, because I'm not controlling anything.
Oh.
Melissa, is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Just let me know if I need to change any of the settings.
Yeah, it's telling me that that's not allowed.
How about now?
There we go. All right. So, let's see. Can you guys see it all right? Can you guys see the picture of pruning? Okay.
We can.
All right. So, let's see here. Yeah. When you guys are pruning trees, to avoid this kind of big unsightly wound thing that's up here on the top, it is recommended to do what's called the 3-cut pruning method. So first, kind of like before you'd make this cut, you'd make an undercut in the bottom just to sever that lower part of the bark. Then you can make the top cut, which is what they did here. And what'll happen is it'll start to peel, but it'll break at that first cut that you made. And then when you just have a small little stub, 12 or 18 inches long, something like that, then you can come back, make that last final cut over here that is really kind of like the good clean cut that you want to see. And that will prevent those kind of big, nasty gaping wounds. So not only is this aesthetically not something that you want to look at, but it's also a pretty bad thing for trees. They tend to run into a lot of disease issues and things like that when that happens. The only other thing that I would caution about when pruning trees, pretty much through the entire clean and green season, oak trees are going to be really vulnerable to oak wilt. So oak trees are actually not allowed to be pruned during this time of year unless other kind of more specific precautions are taken. So as a general rule, I would say for those sorts of things, don't prune on oaks, but if you have anything else that needs trimming, this would be the recommended way to do it to make sure that all your cuts look clean and good and you can be proud of the work that you've done when you're all finished. So that was all that I had. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Stop sharing. So, of course, if anybody has any questions, my contact information is in the chat box. Yes. So feel free to reach out to me and I will be more than happy to kind of provide any guidance that I can on tree related questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela and John. This has been very, very helpful. We have a huge challenge with trees in our community. So this was great. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Yep, you're welcome.
Take care now. So last but not least, we have, I almost said Angela, we have Michelle from NEH, Neighborhood Engagement Hub. Michelle, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm here. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Okay, great. So just really quickly, I'm Michelle Kahelski with the Neighborhood Engagement Hub. And for those of you that don't know, we have a community tool shed, and that is the purpose of that is to aid in blight elimination in Flint by loaning out power equipment to neighborhood groups or volunteers. And we are now open for the season as of April 18th. Our office hours for the tool shed for rentals are Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 9 to 1. And I will be putting all this information in the chat. And the new tool shed number, if you had the old one, we don't have that number anymore. The new number for the tool shed is 810-214-4829. And then you can also email any general questions at info@nehflint.org. And the checkout process, if you've never been there, is very simple. You can call to reserve any tools that you have. We have power equipment, riding lawnmowers, brush hogs. We have gardening equipment, to weed or prune or rake or shovel. We have pretty much anything you can name for outdoor cleanups or beautification projects. And you just need a ID. If you're driving a car, you'll need a driver's license. If you don't have one, you just still need an ID. And usually checkouts are for one day only. For the bigger equipment, our tool shed manager, Herb Pitts, is available to drop those off to you. And just to let you guys know, looking at the future of NEH in our tool shed, we are looking to expand to more event type of equipment. So generators and tents, and also exploring some options for handyman equipment. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. So all of this information has been extremely helpful. So thank you to our partners for taking the time to be with us this Monday afternoon. Thanks again, and you all have a great day. So Melissa, is this the time for to share our accomplishments from the prior season?
Yes, it is. I am about to share my screen so everyone can see the good facts and figures we have. Oh, actually, Christina first.
Okay. So, well, go ahead, Christina. You can introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you, Renetta. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm Christina Kelly, the Director of Planning and Neighborhood Revitalization at the Genesee County Land Bank. And I'm excited to be part of this presentation today, and super excited to kick off the season again this year. It's always such an exciting time of year. So let's see. Can you advance the slides, Melissa? Okay, so you all are our partners in blight elimination. And as many of you know, we are working very diligently to secure funding to eliminate blight in Flint. We have a unique opportunity right now because of the American Rescue Plan Act funds. And so we have been putting out requests and doing our best to secure resources for both demolition as well as property maintenance after demolition. And because of this great opportunity, a blight-free Flint is within our reach. And this was a quote from the master plan. Imagine thriving in unique neighborhoods free of blight, where longstanding Flint residents partner with their new neighbors to keep the community safe and welcoming to all. So that is our goal at the end of this. Next slide. And the good news is that 89% of properties right now, according to the Flint Property Portal and residents surveys, it's 89% of the properties are in good or fair condition. So although we have a huge number of challenges to deal with, there is also a lot that is going well and that is free of blight. So this is kind of just to say that a blight-free Flint is within our reach. Next slide. So what are the costs of eliminating all blight in the city? We did work with the Flint Police Foundation and Natalie Pruitt, as many of you know, to do an update, and the city of Flint as well, to do an update to the blight elimination framework. And we wanted once again to get our hands around how much would it cost to eliminate all blight in the city of Flint. And this is from that update, which we're going to be releasing this week, hopefully on social media in partnership with the city and Flint Police Foundation. But what we found is that it would cost about $106 million to demolish all blighted properties in the city of Flint. Next slide. And this is in a combination of publicly owned and privately owned properties. So the publicly owned portion of that, which is mostly land bank owned properties, is about 46% of that cost. And the rest is private ownership. So next slide. We are focusing on the inventory of publicly owned properties that, as you know, after tax foreclosure, these properties, they kind of fall out of the market. Private owners walk away. Properties are left behind. The land bank accepts these properties so that when opportunities come along, we can seek funding from different sources, secure funding to deal with some of the challenges on these properties and get them back into productive use when we can. This map here shows that all 13,375 properties held by the land bank today. There's green dots, which represent vacant lots, and there's blue dots, which represent structures. Next slide. So this is an image of our full inventory. Can you just advance it one? I think there should be a table. Yeah. As you can see here, the gray represents 70% of the properties that we own, which are just vacant lots. So the majority of our inventory is vacant lots. We have properties that we make available for sale through our Ready for Rehab program and our sale program, and that's about 4% of our total properties. As some additional occupieds that we're currently inspecting, that's another 3%. But the majority of our structures, 21% of our whole inventory, are structures that are in poor or substandard condition and likely in need of demolition. Next slide. So these are all of those candidates for demolition: 2,000 unfunded demolitions, which are substandard, and 1,100 properties in poor condition on this map. Next slide. So what are we aiming to do here? We are using this opportunity to see if we can cobble together about $45.3 million to demolish 2,415 blighted structures in Flint and Genesee County. There's a couple hundred blighted structures in the Out County that we're hoping to demolish as well. So, and it's a combination of both residential demolition, mostly houses, and commercial demolitions. And we are proposing to include 5 years of mowing after demolition within our demo funding requests. That's kind of become our standard following what we did under the Hardest Hit Fund program, where we could fund our property maintenance after the demolition as part of the demolition cost. So that is our hope. And all of that funding, every single penny of the maintenance funding, would go directly into the Clean and Green program for community-based maintenance that you all do. And so I did mention it's county and city, but 94% of the demolitions to be completed will be within the city of Flint. Next slide. We know that the impact of the demolitions that we did, we had a $67.5 million grant through the Hardest Hit Fund to demolish just over 4,000, nearly 5,000 properties, 4,700 properties. And we know that it had a positive impact in Flint in many ways. And one thing that we can see immediately from the data is that housing vacancy is declining. As we remove vacant and blighted properties, it improves the overall property condition for households and businesses in Flint. So housing vacancy is declining and condition is improving. Next slide. Oh, sorry, go back one. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. So this is just to show that the condition of houses. This is data that we have through the Flint Property Portal. The overall condition is improving as a result of the demolition. Next slide. We also know that blight, elimination, and demolition in particular is a very, very high priority for residents. We did a survey with 768 people responding, and overwhelmingly people ranked demolition as the single most important activity. So we hear and we know that it's a priority, and we know it has an impact. Next slide. Oh, this slide came out a little funny. But what it intends to show is how we're looking to raise this money, $45.3 million. The city of Flint is committed to put in $16 million of its ARPA funding, which is it's really at the center of this program. Once the city has done that, then the county is going to commit an additional 18% of the total, $8 million. CS Mott also said if the city commits, they would contribute up to $10 million. We also have the treasurer and the land bank that are committing funding, as well as Congressman Kildee through a community appropriation, or community projects. It's a congressional appropriation, has already provided 1 million or will be providing 1 million. We haven't received it yet. And we're applying for an additional 4 million through his office. And then finally, we're going to apply for some additional money through the state once a funding channel opens up, which we're anticipating to happen sometime soon. Next slide. Next slide. So where are we right now? We have not received any of the funding yet. We are hoping, we're planning, and we are inspecting all the properties that we can right now to prepare. Once we have a set list of properties, we will send it to City Council. They've asked to give some input and approval of our list of properties that we hope to demolish. And then once we have that, we're going to divide the city up into sections, and probably randomly select areas for the order of demolition. And we'll complete these demolitions over a 4-year period. So I'm sure everyone will want them done all at once, as we would love that as well. But given the constraints around capacity, we'll have to really spread it out over a 4-year period. So that is that's our plan. And I just wanted you all to know, firsthand what we're thinking and what we're hoping for. And as we secure the money and move forward, we'll probably be doing some more engagement sessions, and we're very open to, if there is interest through Clean and Green to presenting, giving you all updates and giving you an opportunity to give input and feedback on our demolition, blight elimination as well. So we'll gather interest in that through a survey afterwards to see if you all are interested. And if so, we're happy to host some meetings to make sure you all are connected to this information. So I think that's it, Melissa. Is that right? Is there any more slides?
I think that is it.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I think I'm turning it back over to Renetta Speed.
But
Thanks,
Christina,
Renetta.
you didn't give your title.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank you. I am the Director of Planning and Neighborhood Revitalization at the Land Bank. And I've been at the Land Bank since 2003 and managing programs, Clean and Green, brownfields, redevelopment, demolition, as well as other kind of neighborhood improvement projects. So thank you, Renetta.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, so now we can talk about accomplishments. Is that correct, Melissa?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. I heard a little bit of feedback. I don't know if it's coming from my end or what. So what I'm getting ready to share is the accomplishments from our program in 2021. So last year, our Clean and Green participants groups maintain over, well, 3,700 vacant properties every 3 weeks in our city. The slide you see now is Pastor Holmes and one of his sons. These groups completed more than 30,000 mows. We engaged over 700 residents, including 300 young people, in helping us to improve the neighborhoods within the city of Flint. This contributes to eliminating blight in Flint, which was valued at more than $1.5 million. Now this picture, I hope I'm getting her name correctly, but I think her name is Kia. She's with one of our groups that's been with us for a while. The name of the group is Keeping It Clean. So these were our long-term accomplishments between 2004 and 2001. We've had over 7,400 participants participate in our Clean and Green program. And keep in mind, well, I just said it, but I just want to highlight again, the Clean and Green program has been a part of the Genesee County Land Bank since the beginning of the land bank. So over 7,400 participants have participated thus far, which included 3,250 young people. The land bank has invested more than $5.2 million directly into the Clean and Green program. So far, we have completed more than 2,400, oh, I can't get this number right, 2,045,000 vacant property mowings. Next slide, please. This is some of the facts that were established through some research by one of our partners, the Michigan Youth Violence Prevention Center. So 30% fewer assaults in Clean and Green areas than areas with abandoned lots have, I'm not getting this right. Let's redo this, Melissa. 30% fewer assaults in areas where Clean and Green programs have been implemented. There have been 40% fewer violent crimes overall and 40% fewer child maltreatment cases. For some reason, I'm not seeing all of this, and it's because, I don't know, can you advance the slide? Well, okay, I didn't get to see all of that, Melissa. It was covered up by my picture. Groups report their work because that because of their work, neighborhoods spend more time outside and connect more. Neighborhoods feel safer, neighborhoods look better, neighbors are taking better care of their properties. Next slide, please. Okay, I think I'm done. And so Melissa, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Renetta. All right, well, for those that don't know me, I'm Melissa Hertline. I'm the community planner with the Genesee County Land Bank, and I help to manage a lot of the internal operations of the program. So at first, I'm going to start off with some 2022 program updates. So this year we have 66 community-based groups participating, and 3 of those are new groups this season. We have block clubs, neighborhood associations, churches, youth groups. We have all sorts of community-based groups this year. We will have 3,600 properties in the program during 2022. And as usual, it's a very competitive application process. And the numbers of groups selected this year was based on our annual funding. The value of the stipends for each group, it really depends on the number of vacant properties that the group maintains and is assigned. There were some property adjustments this year, with about 1/3 of groups receiving additional properties. And payments will be directly deposited into group accounts by the following Friday after reporting days. And then this is pretty good news. All group stipends are increasing to $25 per mow. So every group this year will see an increase in their stipend value. So getting to the program operations. So we have our timeline throughout the course of the season. First, we're going to start with, attending this kickoff. You've already got the first step done. Then we're going to turn in the liability release forms and the signed MOAs to the land bank office. We have our drop box downstairs. Those can be submitted in person, or they can just be emailed over to Renetta, and we can have all of those forms on file. Once you get those forms to us, best thing to start with is a spring clean. So really making sure that your area is free of debris before that first mow, just to make sure that everyone can protect their mowing equipment the best as they can before getting out there in the grass getting a little taller. So then by May 27th, we're going to complete our first round of service and submit the first maintenance report and group report. And then every 3 weeks following that, properties are going to be maintained and then reported on throughout June to September. Property maintenance will conclude on September 30th, and then groups will have a week to complete the final report to let us know about the entire season as a whole. So really, for reporting maintenance, the core bits, we've got 2 documents that need to be submitted by groups every mowing round. So there's going to be a group report, and that's really a broad overview of your group's experience during just that mowing round. And that's just using a digital Google form, really simple to fill out, just a few questions like what was a positive experience, negative experiences, how many neighbors you talked to, etc. And then additionally, groups will complete parcel specific maintenance reports, and this is all done through the Flint Property Portal mobile app now. Which I saw a lot of our groups are professionals now, which is really great. Now I'm going to get into the program orientation binder. So I'm going to pause this share for a moment. And if anyone has their handy dandy folder with them, that might be useful to pull out at this moment while we go through. So I'm not going to go through every single page in this binder. I did that last season. Nobody wants to hear that again. But there's a lot of great information. I'm going to highlight any changes or any documents that need to come back to us. So on your first page within your binder, you're going to find your getting started list. This is going to tell you your property award for the season. This is going to give you a lot of the basics for starting up and what is required of your group. So kind of that 1-page snapshot of the program. Behind that, we're going to have our MOA, and you see that? There's a little sign here sticker on that. We need that document returned back to the land bank. And then behind that, you have some liability forms, and we will need those returned back to the land bank as well for every participating member within your group. And there is a digital form available as well. If you have more members that need liability forms, you can distribute that throughout the season. Say you have a cleanup and there's 20 folks coming from out of town, or you're meeting with another partner, those digital liability forms will be very useful. In the middle, you have your full program orientation binder. This is going to take you through every bit of the program step by step. So it's going to have, your program checklist with all of the different dates that are needed to be within the program requirements. And then we have our season schedule. So each day that the mowing rounds need to be completed. We have some information about preventing the spread of COVID, because the COVID is still a real issue today. And then we have mowing instructions following that. So there's the HHF properties that I know many groups are very familiar with. For our new groups, I'm going to provide some information on that. Those are all the red properties on your map. And those are grant funded through the Hardest Hit Fund for after demolition activities. Those properties need to be maintained and are required throughout the program. There are different mow types that groups can use on properties depending on the dynamics within your individual neighborhood. It may make sense to do a combination of full mows, half mows, mow strips, or verifying properties that do not need maintenance. And then we have information on how to tally different mowing types, viewing your reference map, and how to view your area within the Flint property portal as well. And that should be up and running very soon here. How to report maintenance is the kind of the bigger section I'm going to highlight today. And we have our Flint property portal user guide within there as well for anyone who's a little rusty, needs a refresher, our new groups that are coming on. There's a lot of great information throughout this section that will take you through all of the steps to report property maintenance on specific parcels. The app does look slightly different this year. We had a little bit of a revamp in design, functionality exactly the same, but some of the buttons may look a little different. So definitely give that a gander and make sure everyone in your team is familiar with that setup. And it even goes further to go through the Clean and Green survey in detail. So how to start a survey, and it'll go through a lot of the questions that are on the survey, and kind of explains why we're asking those specific questions as well. We try not to ever ask questions that are cumbersome and add additional work without there being a purpose behind it. So we have all of those explanations there. And there have been additional questions added for illegal dumping and reporting other issues. Then we have our group directory. So if you have to get a hold of any group members within your area, feel free to contact them through this guide. But it is intended only for Clean and Green purposes. So please don't add anyone to your mailing list that are not out Clean and Green. And then we have some community resources detailed. There is a plethora of resources across the county. We heard from a few of them already at our meeting today, but there's many more that are out there. So do familiarize yourself with that. We included information about priority waste disposal as well. Since Republic is no longer servicing the city of Flint, there are some minor changes. I'm sure a lot of groups are already familiar with these, but we included those. And on the last bit, there is the land bank mowing schedule. So that's when our crews are going to be going through and maintaining properties and mowing those. That schedule is always subject to change. So do feel free to look at our land bank website to see if there's any changes. And in the very back of your binder, you're going to find your HHF property list. And that's your copy to keep, the one that says copy, and refer to those, which are always the properties that need to be maintained as part of the requirements of the program. And then your group's going to have all your maps in the back there as well. And we can provide digital options if you'd like a digital version of your map. We've already had a couple groups ask for that, and that's certainly something that we can do. So I do want to highlight a few of our projects that we did during 2020 and 2021. Although it may seem that things are not moving at the same rate during COVID, we have been moving forward with a few projects, and we had our native planting project that started in the fall of 2020. And we did this because we had a lot of feedback from groups that were interested in hearing more about native plantings following one of our kickoffs a few seasons ago. So we reached out and worked alongside of Michigan State University staff and students, and then 5 groups from Clean and Green that put together the visionary designs of what native plantings could possibly look like in an urban landscape. So these 5 groups selected 5 sites within their areas, and then MSU supported this work by creating the digital renderings and then selecting Michigan native plants to support local pollinators. So here are a few of the designs that came out of this project. In the top corner, you can see what the current condition of the site was. And then at the bottom, we have what the site could potentially look like if we were to incorporate native plantings. It's really a very nice design, and there's different bird basins, pollinator plants, bee boxes. This is another one that is an educational garden that was within Ballinger Squares area. Again, we've got some beautiful signage, bee boxes, pollinating plants throughout, and some benches. And another site as well where, you know, it's just a open vacant lot, and we have a perimeter, lots of pollinators, some flowering trees as well. You may have noticed that in your binder, there is a plant chart. So I included that. It was what MSU had provided for all of the groups that participated within this project. And that information is available to all groups. So I provided the, it's a 4-page list that helps to select plants based on your soil type and sun conditions. And if any groups are interested in learning more about native plantings and how they can support local pollinators within their areas, let us know, and we can provide some additional information on that to groups as well. Another project that we're really proud of that happened last season was our 2021 illegal dumping installation project. We studied community-driven interventions and selected multiple clean and green groups that selected the sites for dumping interventions and planned those interventions as well. And our land bank crews assisted in cleaning and installing those interventions. So altogether, we had 9 groups that were selected and 11 sites were cleaned. However, those 11 sites included almost 100 parcels. So it's a pretty major cleanup across the city with this project. And these were some of our toughest illegal dumping sites that we have encountered over the years of multiple cleanups. So groups installed boulders as a barrier blockade, lights that were solar powered, and trail cameras as a way to deter dumping. And so far we have seen declines of illegal dumping in some of these areas, and we hope to see further reductions. So I wanted to share a few of those before and after images of some of the sites. This one was off of Torrance Street, and a very dark area. It was really easy access off a major road, and it was just notoriously being dumped on. And we cleaned and cleared that area and installed the boulders. This one's off of Marengo Avenue, another notorious dumping site. I believe before we even got to the site to install the interventions, 4 dumpsters of debris were removed by our clean and green groups to clean up this site. And then this is another lot at the Torrance site. So this little drive-through had been used for a lot of dumping. It has had no dumping since the boulder and trail camera has been installed. This one off Baltimore, another large notorious illegal dumping site. And we pulled off an entire dumpster. There was 38 parcels involved in this site. We cleaned out, you know, basically 2 blocks worth of legal dumping and installed cameras, which actually this view right here is the view from the trail camera. So we can see multiple lots and try to keep track of who is dumping and report that out. We did report a few dumpers caught in act last season through social media and even news coverage. So there is, we're hoping for a future for our illegal dumping projects after our initial successes. It was really a pilot project just to see, you know, what could work and would look aesthetically pleasing as well. So we are applying for additional dollars to support these projects through various partnerships. One continued with the Michigan Youth Violence Prevention Center and one with Cornell University. And We have Darrell on the call, Darrell Azell, from Cornell. You may be seeing him more in the future here. But we will notify groups if we secure the funding. We hope to hear back soon. But in the meantime, we're going to be collecting additional data on illegal dumping within the city using that Flint property portal. I added additional questions to the survey. So information on like the type of materials that are dumped, the scale of materials, you know, how much space would you need to remove it dumpster wise. So please report all the properties in your area that you've been experiencing illegal dumping for, you know, repeated illegal dumping over time. And we can try to track that data and get ready for if those grant dollars do come our way. Right now, I want to give a big shout out to our land bank crews who really helped out with the illegal dumping project this season. You know, they were a huge support, brought in the heavy equipment, moving the boulders, and you know, tree trimming and chipping, and it was definitely a great partnership between land bank crews and clean and green groups throughout this project. With that, land bank crews are going to be starting our chipping crews soon. So please report any large fallen trees that your group can not remove, dangerous trees that are unable to be removed, and larger debris using the Flint property portal survey. And we'll keep track of those and send those out to our property maintenance crews and try to get as much chipping as we can done early on in the season. So if you can help out our crews, try to bundle those smaller branches neatly near the curb. So when the chipper comes through, we can chip those up. And again, you've got report those properties. We won't know that there's a dangerous tree or tree that's fallen necessarily unless it's reported out. So we really appreciate information on that. And going into pictures and social media, we love to share pictures of your work. It's been amazing since we've transitioned to the Flint property portal to see all of the beautiful, freshly cleaned lots right in their pristine condition right after mowing. And you know, I've seen many pictures that have been submitted by groups of group members out working, mowing the lot in action, and it's been a great to be able to share those. So if you can please submit photos every other mowing round. You can follow us on Facebook for updates and posts, and even tag us in your own posts if you'd like us to share those. And you can alternatively email images and we may feature your group on Facebook. And after this meeting, we are going to send out a feedback survey. So please let us know how we're doing, what we can improve on to try to make this event the most interesting as possible every season. So with that, I'm going to pass this back on to Renetta. Thank you all for your time and for making time today.
Thank you, Melissa. But before you leave, can you share how participants can retrieve the recording today?
Yes, absolutely. So at the end of this meeting, I have a video that's going to be created. I might have to do a couple edits. We'll probably post that to our YouTube channel. If not, we may just send out a direct link, but we will email that information following this meeting. And for any group members that were unable to attend, that would like to hear this information, please feel free to share that link out.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Renetta.
So if I'm correct, I think this concludes our program for today, our presentation, our orientation. So I just want to thank you on behalf of the land bank staff for taking the time to be here this afternoon. I think I'm confident in saying that I think you will say this has been a great investment of our time. If you have any questions pertaining to the program, please give me a call or shoot an email. If I don't have the answer, Melissa does. So we can help you navigate through the season. If you just let us know what your needs are. So I did see some chats in regard to your questions, okay? So again, thank you, Melissa, Christina, Michael. Do you have anything, Lucille?
I would just like to add a quick thank you to the Ruth Mott Foundation for being the funder of this program year after year, and allowing us to continue to do this work, and for you all to support you all in doing this work. So thank you to Ruth Mott Foundation for all of your support.
So before we close out, Susan, are you still on?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so Susan, why don't you introduce yourself? Melissa, can you highlight Susan, or Susan, if you would like to be highlighted?
I have no idea. Okay. Hi,
I'm
everybody.
highlighting her.
I'm
We're good.
the Chief Financial Officer here. I've probably been here about 1.5 years now. I took over for Paul McShane, who some of you may know, back in October of 2020. And so I'm getting more and more used to everything that's going on with Clean and Green, and all the amazing work that you all do. And so grateful and so in awe of the difference that you're making in the community, and so glad that we can continue to, with the help of the Ruth Mott Foundation and other funds internally, be able to continue to support this program and continue to hopefully grow it every year. You guys are superstars, and we're super grateful. And I'm glad that I was able to join this year just to kind of see the things that, you know, the information that you learn, and the various teams and things like that. So I'm glad to have been a part of it. Thanks for including me.
Thank you, Susan. And I think Lucille, I think everybody knows Lucille, but Lucille, you want to say hi, if you're still there?
Hi, everyone. I'm still here. Just one quick reminder, if you want to save the chat, if the 3 dots on the chat box, if you click on that, you can click on Save Chats. If you have any questions, if you had put it in the chat, Renetta is going to get back to you with an answer to those questions, or you can also email her. All right, looking forward to this year's Clean and Green group.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good afternoon. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please shoot me an email or just give me a call.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Take care.
I hope everyone enjoys the season ahead.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank
Be
you.
safe out there.
Yes, be safe.
All right, everything's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, everybody take care.
Bye.
Thank you. God bless.
All right, everybody, have a good season.
Hold on. Okay, so look, when I press the
Appreciate
three,
you all.
buttons, it doesn't give me the option to save. It says meetings, settings, minimize meeting, and
Okay,
chat.
are you on a computer or on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
Yeah, that's why.
I have the meeting chat saved here, so I can distribute that after the meeting with the feedback survey if that's helpful.
Okay.
Like Maurice have his hands up?
Hey, Renetta, this is Gary. Give me a call also. I got a question for you.
Okay. Okay. I will.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That's everything.
I think so.
All right.
You have a good one, Mikkel.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.